What happens when those sworn to uphold the law break it instead? In the autumn of 2017, a defining moment in the city of St. Louis unfolded. A moment that would expose the darker side of the very institution tasked with preserving justice and order.
Fists and police sticks slamming into his body. That's how a black St. Louis police officer described the way white officers arrested him while he was working undercover at a protest.
It's coming up on us awful fast.
Holy crap! Do you see what I see?
I'm afraid I do.
Luther Hall is a 25-year veteran of the St. Louis Police Department. He said in court today he's been arrested before while working undercover, and usually it involves a punch or a smack, but he's never been beaten like this.
No one questions the injuries these photos show. It's the why that has 3 St. Louis police officers on trial in federal court. Stephen Corti, Dustin Boone.
Unfortunately, there's little indication that most cops have any line at all. The incidents of police officers refusing to inflict injustice upon the people are extremely rare.
Officer Luther Hall was working undercover, trying to blend in and document any property damage by protesters on September 17, 2017. People were in the streets after a judge had cleared another officer in a murder trial. But when police moved in on protesters, they also arrested the undercover Luther Hall. That's when prosecutors say the white officers beat Hall, who is black, injuring not just his face and arm, but causing internal and spinal injuries.
Investigated the 6-day conference hosted by a private company called Street Cop Training. The training was held after New Jersey, as well as other states, had adopted safety initiatives and reforms to reduce bias and excessive force in policing. What we found was really disturbing. They denigrated women and racial and ethnic minorities. They promoted a warrior mentality and glorified violence. They belittled internal affairs. They dehumanized civilians.
Federal prosecutors say these photos from a newspaper photographer.
Believe me, there's a much bigger threat to the men in blue. That's him! Kill the bastard with the video camera! Take him out and you can waste everybody else at your own leisure.
Free-for-all, Hall said on the stand Thursday, his voice cracking. I could feel nothing but boots, fists, and sticks slamming into my body. Did you ever fight with police? The prosecutor asked. No, said Hall. Resist the police in any way? No.
One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you.
A lot still to go in this trial, including text messages that prosecutors have from 2 of the officers that they say showed that the officers were looking forward to, quote, beating the hell out of protesters that night.
Oh my God.
Cool. Maybe work wouldn't suck so much if it was unsafe and hostile. Yeah, motivation is cool.
Fast forward to 7 years later. After a long and grueling legal battle, justice finally found its way to Luther Hall. A judge awarded him $23.5 million in damages.
Where's my money? You gonna give me my money? Where's my money, man?
A record-breaking settlement in a police misconduct case. This case is a glaring testament to the fact that no one is above the law, not even those who are supposed to enforce it. It also exposes the dire need for comprehensive police reform. The very officers who are supposed to protect us should never be the ones we fear.
Now, who can tell me what a pig says?
Pig says, "Get up against the wall and put your hands on your head, you black motherfucker!"
Today, Luther Hall's story stands as a stark reminder of the urgency for justice and equality in our society. It underscores the importance of holding those in power accountable for their actions, regardless of their badge or uniform.
A former St. Louis police officer has been sentenced to more than 4 years in prison for beating up a fellow officer working undercover during protests in St. Louis in 2017.
Chill, nasty Nate. It's my bitch. Anybody gonna stab him, it's gonna be me.
Officer Bailey Coletta will face sentencing for giving a false statement to cover up the attack.
I hope that acting like total douchebags and investigating ourselves and telling you we didn't do anything wrong doesn't constitute impersonating a police officer.
Dustin Boone was found guilty in June of aiding and abetting the deprivation of victims' civil rights under the color of law.
In conclusion, the story of Luther Hall is a powerful testament to the resilience of those who refuse to back down in the face of injustice. It's a stark reminder that the fight for civil rights is far from over, and that each one of us has a role to play in creating a more just and equitable society.
You have to act so mean. Don't you know you're a human being?
You have chosen to be the enforcement mechanism for the law. You have sold your soul for a paycheck.